This footage captured Samantha Lee Josephson entering a car after a carefree night out with her friends. She called an Uber to head back home. Little did she know that this decision would mark the final moments of her life. What seemed like an ordinary night quickly turned into a nightmare. All because of one devastating mistake. And now the man who was behind the wheel that night sits in an interrogation room. There's nothing with me on camera picking somebody up. Can y'all show me the camera footage, please? The haunting question remains. What could have unfolded inside the car that claimed Samantha's life? She had sustained 120 stab wounds all over her body. And the answer to it would be far more terrifying than anyone could have anticipated. You understand that part? Blood in your car. I'm murdering nobody. On March 29, 2019, Samantha decided to spend the night with her friends. They were at the Bird Dog Bar, a popular bustling college nightlife zone in Columbia, South Carolina. Around 2:00 a.m., she called an Uber to head back home. Moments later, a car arrived and Samantha, who believed it to be her ride, mistakenly entered that vehicle. However, she was unaware of the tragedy that was about to befall her. The following day, when Samantha failed to return home, her friends reported her missing as she mysteriously vanished without a trace. 911, what's your emergency? Hi, we were just going to call to let you know our friend is missing. We went out in 5 Points last night and she still hasn't made it home. Her phone's dead. Approximately 14 hours later, some hunters made a gruesome discovery. They found a blood-covered body discarded in a remote area which was later identified as Samantha Josephson's. After reviewing Aries CCTV footage, Samantha was last seen. After a diligent search, police eventually spotted the car 5 blocks away from the crime scene. When officers attempted to pull over his car, he fled on foot before being detained. He was identified as Nathaniel David Roland. Nathaniel was immediately arrested and brought in for questioning. Here is what we've got so far. So, everything I review is the truth and is true and accurate to what we've been able to develop. Okay. So, it's a March 29, 2019. The victim Samantha Josephson was reported missing to the City of Columbia Police Department after leaving the Bird Dog Bar at 715 Hardin Street at approximately 2:00 in the morning or 200 hours. Okay. And requesting an Uber ride to take her home. The reported being Samantha, the reporting individual, reported the victim missing and was captured on video surveillance hearing what appeared to be a 4-door black Chevrolet Impala on the 700 block of Hardin Street in the city of Columbia County, Brooklyn, which down in our 5 Points area. The victim was later found deceased in a rural area of Clarin County with numerous wounds to her body that are believed that have caused her death. An awareness bulletin was disseminated among Columbia Police Department personnel that contained a photograph of the victim when she was last seen and a photograph of the black Chevrolet Impala that the victim was seen entering. On March 30, 2019, in approximately 233 hours, a lawful traffic stop was conducted by the Columbia Police Department on 2017 Chevrolet Palette SC tag that was being driven by Nathaniel David Roland. That's your data aftering the track. I'm sorry. Okay. After initiating the traffic stop in a short foot pursuit, blood was found. The suspect being you is needed to compare to the evidence that was collected. The defiant believes that the buccal swabs of the suspect David Roland could be compared to evidence already collected and will assist in the investigation of the reported disappearance and murder of the victim under South Carolina Code Section 16310. Basically, that means we just want to take your DNA and compare it to all the DNA evidence, the mixtures within the blood, that kind of stuff, and want to see if your DNA hits on that. You said DNA was found within the blood. What you mean the DNA was find her blood? Then the blood in the back of the car and the car within the blood, meaning the blood was tested. It's on the upholstery and everything, right? Meaning there if somebody else's DNA is in that blood as to mean it's been mixed around means somebody touched it was in it bled in there with it whatever it is we'll be able to know that through forensic test but it wouldn't make any sense regardless if the car is mine and everything in the car whatever else is in my car. Yeah, I hear what you're saying absolutely here and you're on the right track there. Okay. But I just so again, I got to say it again. There's some legalities. I want to make sure I'm doing right by you. Does that make sense? I'm not trying to do something that's going to be construed as off color or like I'm trying to trick you or something. So if you want to discuss that, we can just discuss that. We can discuss whatever you want to discuss if that's what I'm understand you to say, but we got some rights we got to talk about if that's what you want to do. If not, lets you know, I'm okay. Initially, Nathaniel appears cooperative in providing his DNA for testing. However, as soon as detectives confront him with the evidence stacking against him, he becomes defensive while waiting for Samantha's autopsy reports. Detectives leave Nathaniel alone for a brief period. Meanwhile, they find additional footage showing a man with his face covered attempting to use Samantha's debit card at different ATMs. In the meantime, the forensic team relentlessly searches for evidence inside the vehicle. What stunned the officers was the excessive amount of blood inside the vehicle. They also discovered Samantha's cell phone and learned that Nathaniel had activated child-proof locks to trap her inside the vehicle. They discover a footprint impression on the backside window, indicating the cruelty Samantha was trying to escape. They also find bleach, germicidal wipes, and window cleaner, suggesting the suspect's attempt to remove biological traces. Amidst the evidence, detectives uncover an eviction notice inside the vehicle, but no one could have predicted that a single piece of paper would lead detectives to where everything would finally fall into place. Warrant from the County of Richland. All right. Signed by the affiant Derek Horton who says he poses says defendant Nathaniel David Roland deal within this county and state on March 29, 2019 violate the criminal law state of South Carolina and Richland County and description of offense is kidnapping. The offense is kidnapping. For what? I'm going to read it to you. Okay. This is your after a date. This is what tells you what you did. Okay. What day is it? This happened on March the 29th, okay. Early morning hours. On about March 29, 2019, the defendant, Nathaniel Roland, did with unlawful intent commit the crime of kidnapping. And they approached the victim in the 5 Points area of the city of Columbia, South Carolina, which is Richland County, while she waited transportation to her residence. The victim was captured on surveillance video entering what appeared to be a black four-door Chevrolet Impala in front of the Bird Dog Bar located. On March 29, 2019, a victim was found deceased in a rural area of Clarendon County, South Carolina with numerous wounds evident on multiple parts of her body to include her head, her neck, face, her upper body, her leg, and her foot. On March 3, 2019, subject to a lawful traffic stop by the Columbia Police Department, a 2017 Chevrolet Impala, known hereafter, when you hear again be subject vehicle, that's your 2017 Chevrolet Impala, driven by the defendant, that's you. A large amount of dark color liquid was visible throughout the sub-vehicle's passenger compartment, which when later tested presumably tested positive for blood during the execution of a lawful search warrant on the said subject vehicle mount. Additional amounts of dark color liquid which presumably tested positive for blood were discovered in the trunk and passenger compartments. Collections of the blood were obtained by SLED forensic crime scene agents and were submitted to SLED DNA laboratory for analysis and compared to a known standard of the victim. Okay. The analysis concluded blood located in the subject vehicle, which is your vehicle, was that of the victim. Also a cell telephone belonged to the victim's fine side patch compartment of the subject vehicle. Likewise located in the subject vehicle was container of bleach, germicidal wipes and window cleaner. Further investigation of subject vehicle turned the child safety and window locks have been activated and would thereby not allow the victim any means of escape from the subject vehicle. Victim body was also located in the area known to the defendant and near an area where the defendant recently resided according to law enforcement system databases and electronically accessed state-maintained information. You were hereby charged with the offense of kidnapping as another offense. Yep. You understand you're charged with murder. You understand your charges kidnapping and murder. I don't accept no charges. Well, you ain't got to accept it. You ain't got to accept the one made her. That's what you charge me. So I'm talking about general. Yes, sir. You are officially charged with kidnapping and murder. I told you this was coming early. Well, how did I even? That's not possible. No, it's possible. It's happening right now. It's happening right now. I did not kidnap or murder anyone. Okay. Talk about this earlier. I'm going to give you opportunity. If you want to talk to me, you can talk to me. Well, we already talked. I know. You know what? You know how all that stuff played out. I know exactly how it played out. And you're charged with kidnapping and murder. Okay. Earlier you mentioned something about a lawyer. When do I go to court? Listen to me. You mentioned something about a lawyer earlier. Do you wish to talk to me or not? Yes or no? No. Okay. I'm going to ask these warrants on you, these things. I'll get you a copy and you'll be sent back to LNS Live Detention Center. Okay. You're charged with kidnapping and murder. You understand that? You think it's a bad day for you? Where did y'all put me on any of this crime? How do y'all place me on the front? Just 'cause my car is there. Do you want to talk to me or not? You said a while ago you didn't want to talk. You had an attorney. What's your choice? Yeah, you got. I'm not signing anything. You ain't got sign. It's already been signed on you. Okay. To simplify it, it sound like you got questions about it. I do. Killed a girl most likely in the car. Her blood was in there. You took her phone, disabled it, left it in the car. For whatever reason you decide not to clean the car out and leave a phone in there. I'm just telling us how you trying to get this. Okay. Do you understand what the rights that I read to you earlier, that you have right to have a lawyer present? Do you want to talk to me without a lawyer present? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Listen to you know according to Supreme Court cases, you have a right to have an attorney sitting here while you talk. Do you understand that? Yes, sir. You understand that's a right that you're given? Yes, sir. Okay. That's a right that was decided by the Supreme Court in a case called Miranda. And what I read earlier is your Miranda rights, which entitles you to have an attorney sitting right here or later on somewhere when you're talked to by me. Okay. Or anybody call my attorney right now. Which attorney's name? You don't know. I have to call my family to get the attorney information. Sir, I understand that. So the question is this. You want to talk to me or not? It's like I want to talk to my attorney. Okay. What's your attorney's name? I had to call my family, sir. Once I call my family. Do you have an attorney? Yeah. My son attorney. What's his name? I'm not sure. I haven't have to deal with him. I didn't have everything to do with him. So, I didn't know his name. Bloss and Bloss means me. You ain't got an attorney. I do have an attorney and I want to impress him with me. I want to call my family. I get my attorney. Is that a problem, sir? I don't have a problem with anything. Okay. If you want to talk to the man, just go on and talk to him. I want to talk to him with my attorney. All right. Well, then just shut up until you get your attorney. No, he's talking. That's what he's trying to tell you. What I'm trying to tell you is I thought to ask for my attorney, but I don't know my attorney's number. Well, we don't know who your attorney is either. Who's your attorney? That's why I was just saying, can I call my family so I can get my attorney name information? Yeah, but we're not waiting up here all day and all night for your attorney. Your attorney can come up here at any time. Listen to me, man. He can come up here at any time and sit down with you and talk to police when he gets ready. Okay, that's how that works. Now, unlike him, if you want to talk, I'm going to listen to you. Amicham. Right. If you want to talk without your attorney, I'm going to listen to you. We've advised you what your rights are. Good. I rebuke it in Jesus' name. Mark, I rebuke you in Jesus' name. Despite Nathaniel's adamant denial, the detective's certainty about his involvement stems from something far darker. The eviction notice turns out to be a turning point in the case. It leads detective to Nathaniel's ex-girlfriend, Maria Howard's residence. She provides them with some crucial details. Maria confirms that Nathaniel has been spending some time at her house. Additionally, she recounts the alarming details, claiming she found dried blood inside Nathaniel's car and a blood-covered double-bladed knife he was cleaning. Upon asking him several times about it, he successfully dodged her questions. Not only does this pivotal piece of information implicate Nathaniel, but the troubling twist this plot is about to take would further deepen the hole he dug for himself. Did you just read it to you? That thing was this don't even sound right. This doesn't even sound like correct even evidence of anything. Is there something you don't understand about warrant? You said I killed somebody. Who said I killed him? It was signed by Lieutenant Hugh Horton. So, how you feel about killed anybody, the explanation of why you were charged with this is concluding. Can you read it right? 1. Because I drive this car every day, sir. Can you read it right? So, you know that. I'm saying I drive this car every day. No, she's saying I was driving it that night and kidnapped and killed somebody. Murder kidnap. That's your I don't want to say anything cause you listen this is right man. Nothing here says anything about, we see Nathaniel Roland on footage picking somebody up. I'll do it for you. On about March 29, 2019, Nathan Roland gives commit the offense of murder by cause of the death of the victim. Nathan Roland approached the victim in 5 Points area in the city of Columbia while she waited for transportation arrest. The victim was captured on Bing what appeared to be a dark four-door Chev. You know where it was located? The victim was found deceased in a rural area of Clarin County with numerous wounds evident on multiple parts of her body and to include her head, her neck, her face, upper body, leg, and foot on March 30, 2019, subsequent to a lawful stop by the Columbia Police Department of a 2017 Chevrolet Impala known here after subject vehicle driven by Nathaniel Roland. A large amount of dark-colored liquid vis was visible throughout the subject vehicle pass which later test positive blood execution of a lawful search for the said subject vehicle. Additional amounts of dark color liquid which presently tested positive blood were discovered in the trunk capacity part. Collections of the blood were obtained by SLED for forensic crime scene agents and were submitted to SLED DNA laboratory for analysis and compared to a known standard of the victim. Do you understand that part? Blood in your car. We know what her DNA looks like. We got a known sample of it. We take that and compare it to the blood in your car. It's positive. It's her blood. Okay. So, that means just cause her blood is in my car, it means I was the one that did it. The analysis, let me see. Sorry. That was her blood in the vehicle. Also, a cellular telephone belonging to the victim was found inside the passenger compartment of the subject vehicle. Yeah. Nothing with me on camera picking somebody up. Can y'all show me the camera footage, please? Can you show me the footage, please? Tell you what, the footage of me picking her up. All I'm showing right now is a murder warrant, kidnap warrant. Excuse me. That's all I'm showing you right now is a murder warrant and a kidnap war. What? What does that mean by warrant? Warrant. You are officially charged with murdering somebody. You're officially charged with kidnapping somebody. Okay. But how do you do that? That's the young girl that you had in the back seat of your car. How do you officially say you're charged with murder? You master it to master it. You present probable cause before manager. That's what happened. Manager said, yeah, you got probable cause. Oh, we know we do. Presented information before manager. Manager said, here's your warrant for murder. Here's your warrant for kidnapping because you got probable cause. That's the things I just explained to you. Probable cause is not a definite. That's what. Come on now. Probable cause is not saying, oh, this pro just because you're the only suspect, sir. That's probable cause. And you're the defendant. You're charged with murder and kidnapping. That's what I'm saying. The young lady you had in the back seat of your car. The young lady you had in the back seat of your car that you stabbed to death. That's what you charged for. Not nobody, sir. I want to see that. I want to see me approach. I promise you, you'll have a chance one day to see that. So will ya, it's your guy. It's your guy. Well, there's a lot of ways you can approach somebody. Pull up beside them. What? Pull up in a vehicle beside somebody. If I'm driving a car and you're standing over there and I drive a car up, I just approached you in a vehicle. Alright. How about you drive a car and park the car? How does that go to somebody? Well, somebody's standing there and you approach them. You approach them. See, you hear what you say, sir. I'm just trying to explain that. I'm just trying to explain. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying for 1 second now. 1 second. You drive your car and I'm just talking just like how you was just talking cause I was you say I'm talking. So you drive your car and you pull up, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that you pull up for that person or this person or that person. Who said you pull up? Anybody out here? Yeah. And she got in the back seat of your car. Do you have any records of me and her conversing before then? For her to have any reason to get back in my car? Why did she get back? Why is she getting back in my car? Like why did she get back there? Did I get out the car and say get in my car right now? Or did I get in the car and say like how you roll? You guess what I'm saying. How the car that you were she was captured entering your vehicle. How did she get in there? And then she was later found deceased. How did she get in the vehicle? She approached your vehicle. So she approached me or I approach her. Which one? The vehicles. Because that's the difference. That's the difference between kidnapping. What's that? Never approach you. You approached the other one. What are you trying to get? I did not kidnap or anything like I understand what you're saying. I didn't argue with me right now. I'm trying to tell you I didn't approach somebody to kidnap you like this. Stranger gets inside of your vehicle and you think that's what your game's going to be. A stranger gets inside the vehicle, you decide to hell, I'm just going to drive off with him. You know, none of this is like scam. Yeah. If that would been the case and drive up somebody, approach them and they get in your car. No, of course. And they ain't supposed to be in your car. The first thing you're going to do is like you said a while ago, what the hell you in my car for? Get out. Not that they end up dead in Clarin County where you was raised at. See, that's what I'm saying. Y'all are suspecting stuff. Y'all proving stuff. Y'all, how that prove I went to school that day? That's what I'm saying. Y'all just suspecting things and putting it on me. You know my name is Lee Black with Slid. If you ever decide you want to talk to him. Despite being cornered with irrefutable evidence, Nathaniel's attempt to maintain his facade of innocence is simply pathetic. During the investigation, detectives also searched Maria's house. There they uncovered tons of physical evidence that tore apart Nathaniel's web of lies. Among some trash bags, they found the knife, blood-covered wipes, and clothes, which he had been wearing for days. They also discovered a scratched black leather jacket, indicating Samantha's desperate struggle to protect herself. This same jacket was seen in the footage, confirming Nathaniel as the one who attempted to withdraw money using Samantha's debit cards. Throughout, Nathaniel shows no sign of remorse. However, the damning evidence is enough to seal his fate forever. But will this truly serve justice to a precious life lost so mercilessly? Nathaniel was charged with kidnapping, murder, and possession of a weapon during a violent crime in July 2021. During the trial, prosecution called 31 witnesses to testify against him. Among them was the owner of a cell phone repair shop who testified that Nathaniel tried to sell him a phone belonging to Samantha. A few days later, he was found guilty on all charges. Nathaniel was sentenced to life imprisonment, with the judge describing him as heartless and a case as the most severe murder he had ever seen. Following the sentencing, Samantha's family established a foundation called What's My Name?, which focuses on educating the public about ride-share safety, providing scholarships and victim support initiatives.